Right, so it was very conflicting there for a long time.
You did have a vision in here.
Before that, though, before this vision, I was trying to seek out how I could get, rid of some of this pain and a little bit more mobility, and I sought out a physical specialist, doctor, in my hometown of Sault Ste. Marie, and he kind of knew about me, but after he heard my story, and I was on the examining room table, and I seemed to be there for so long, and I thought, I don't hear anything, what's going on? So I lifted my head, and as I lifted my head, he was down on his knees, and he had his hands on my feet, and his head bowed in prayer. And this took me by such surprise. And I said to him, I said, "Are you praying for me?" And he got up and he came over and he took my hand and he continued to pray. That really shook me up. I said to myself, if this well-known, prestigious doctor could get down on his knees in his office, why don't I have the same kind of faith as this man? And that's what really opened it up for me. I still went through a little bit of searching here and there, but that really opened it up. That
was a pivotal event.
It was a big planted seed,
and
for
I'm
sure.
thrilled to see that we had a little role in this spiritual journey. You made a phone call from hospital in Toronto.
Yes.
You had to come from Sault Ste. Marie, your hometown, to Toronto because they didn't have equipment needed for.
Well, what happened that time was I had moved. Well, my husband was going to work in London now, so he went to purchase a house in London, and at the same time I had to go into hospital in Toronto.
And you're all alone,
and
family's not
nobody
there?
there, and I was there for 6 months because I had a mishap in the operating room, which I could mention later.
We have about 5 minutes, so I don't think we'll get there. But
Okay, all right. Anyway, I called 100 Huntley Street because I really needed to talk. And this woman was so pleasant. And then the next day or two, she came to see me in the hospital. And then she came back when I was hospitalized again. But she made a phone call to London where she had met another counselor.
one of our former prayer partners. Yeah.
There in Israel. And that woman didn't even remember
Millie.
And
but
so,
she came to visit you.
Yeah, she told her I didn't know anyone in London. I was going home with, this big bulky brace and I couldn't move. And
that would ignite prayer times, Bible studies in your home.
Yes.
And I think
Christian
inspire
friends.
in many ways the online community that you have founded just 2 years ago, really up and running. Tell us about it.
Well, I was still struggling, and I came to the point in my life that I accepted what I was, pain and all. I finally accepted that, I had to really heal myself of that in order to move on to another dimension.
Yeah.
And as soon as I did that, this idea came into my head.
God had a ministry for you.
I don't know how. I said to my eldest son one day, this is what I want to do. And, both of my sons later says, this is pretty strange because you're not technical, you're not physical, you don't have the monetary means.
And at a time when some people are looking toward retirement, you're just getting started.
Exactly.
Thank God for almost 20 years of office administration in a medical facility.
Yes, that really helped.
That
it
helps.
really did.
But you really, what a step of faith. And what mobility did you even have when?
Not too
Not
much.
too much.
It was the sitting at the computer that was hard, but it was not too bad because I can go back and forth. So,
And we have both sides of the border. I think you may even have more people logging on to soulfulencounters.com from the U.S.
Yes,
I know
yes,
a
that's
big
right.
issue there is the health care.
it's the health care. Yes,
You
that's
told
right.
one story of a man who, I mean, this sounds like something out of Africa, who actually had to sell something to be able to afford to get on a bus to go and have an assessment.
Right. That's right. He was so poor. And I sent him to a place to be evaluated because he didn't have medication. He was bipolar. He was insulin dependent. He had no food in the house. I had food sent to him, and then he had no fridge and no stove to cook the food. It was very, very sad.
Shocking to be living like this in the West,
There's
anywhere.
a lot of the disabled people in the States are even worse off than the ones here because of not having home care even.
Now you have spiritual support, you have the practical support like this. How are you doing this? I mean, it's you. It's I know a pharmacist is offering counsel, a nurse.
And I have a spiritual counselor on there. I have a pastor, a born-again pastor on there. And
Not all of the clients or all of the people in the
no.
community are believers.
No, but when they come to the chat room, they end up asking questions, and it ends up that they seem to be catching on to all of this, which is really priceless. And every day, someone tells me that the Lord comes first in their lives, or they put it on their profile. And I read about it. We have a Bible, we're going to have a Bible study in there. I'm getting a room ready for that. And we have a prayer circle.
You do have some people actually connecting through this. I mean, it's not a dating
yes.
program, but friendships are
They're
blossoming.
connecting throughout the whole of North America. There's no border for them, no borders in their hearts. They're, you know, there's no, they don't care about age, location, or gender.
You know, Louise, on Thanksgiving Monday, one of the things that was both heartwarming and a heart tug were the overflowing driveways. Cars
yes.
and motorbikes and families coming together. And of course, immediately I think of those who will see that same scene and not have that family experience. Randy said, our Toronto Argonaut said, the best part of his career is the locker room. It's the community. And that's the biggest thing that you are helping to provide for those who are disabled.
Oh, they're housebound, most of them.
Some of them alone all the time.
Yes, that's right. They hardly ever get out. And I could understand that, of course.
And then we had Florence with the Stratford House of Blessing talking about operational money. Here are two wonderful women in the later chapter of life
Yes.
who've launched out doing a wonderful thing in our world, probably needing some others to come alongside.
Oh, I do need help. I need, you know, I need help. I need an agent to help me along because a lot of my work with talking to people demands a lot of time. I need sponsorship. You know, I need people that will even want to help the disabled, like more counselors or
Someone
whatever.
who can maybe even go there in some of those situations.
Yeah.
What's your mobility today? Tell us how you are doing. You look fantastic.
When I have a lot of pain 24/7, but I still manage to do things. It's you know, I limit myself and I have to organize myself. And I have nerve pain is the problem. When I have that, then it's hard to do anything. But God got me here without having any, so He's always there for me, you see?
Well, you are a blessing. I want to give that, I'm going to put it right on the screen. I know there are lots of folks who are with us here today who don't have 100% health, and it's lonely at times, isn't it? Today could be a new day in your life. SoulfulEncounters.com. And let me give you this blessing today. May you always have love to share, health to spare, and friends who care.